Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and I'm going to try to demonstrate this trade here. When this is a nice trap reversal here, when prices broke above, I just dropped a limit order one tick back. It's backed up and filled me. My target's 1865, and I'm looking for a target of up here. I'm just going to scalp out of this in full. I was going to try to do two trades a day, but it's almost 1 o'clock, and we'll see if another one sets up pretty quickly. I traded a little longer than usual today. It's been a pretty good day. We'll see what happens here on this one. I got my stop 2 ticks below my signal bar, which is right at my 2-point or 8-tick rule, and we're just going to try to get 4 ticks here. I would have liked this better if this would have broke higher and closed 1 tick higher, but I still like it. That was a rejection. We dropped down there real quick and then instantly climbed back up. So you didn't have much time to think about this trade. So I went ahead and took it. Thought I would demonstrate it. People tend to like to see live trades sometimes. I meant to change this to 2, and somehow I missed it. It was so quick, I just didn't have time to fiddle with it. I was trying to get it in there, get my order in because it happened really fast, and I wanted to get a little better entry order than 1 tick above that bar. So I ended up with 6 contracts on this one. All right, we need a couple of more ticks here. And that should get us out before we get to the last highs. I'm really looking for a target up here. That's the main reason I like this trade. We just needed a good setup, and really it was almost tempting to enter right here, but I wanted to, and that's one reason why I wanted to use a limit order, because I felt like the entry was when prices broke above the top right there where this one closed. So I'm just trying to sneak in. I wanted to be sure I could get out before getting to those closes again, because that's generally where you're probably going to find the most resistance again, and I don't want to risk it turning back there. However, I am looking at a target of 18, I think that's 1867, and the way we get that is here's your first leg up, then you get your little correction. Oops. Still waiting on my new mouse to get here. This mouse has about had it, and you see that's my measured move, so that's what we're shooting for. And I believe we have a channel here. Fits pretty well with a median line in it. And backing up a little bit here, we'll see what happens. This was kind of a double top, so it wouldn't surprise me if we don't back up. And I could be wrong. Could be getting trapped here. We hadn't had a break of this trend line yet. A lot of times we will get a break or a close outside before we run to that final new high, so I hope I'm not too early here. I treated this like a second entry long, even though we did make a new low right here. That was just definitely strong rejection there, and that's what I was looking at. So now we got like a little breakout pullback right there if we can go higher. Everything's still closing inside that trend line so far. You can see the buying is slowed down. There's just not as many people willing to buy up here at these levels, I don't think. What happens is you get all these counter trend traders that start trying to come in and pick tops and so forth, and Most of your smart traders are probably waiting on a better second entry here, or maybe a trap or something. Although we do have a little bit of a trap here. We broke below there that last swing and then shot straight up. But there's just not a lot of buyers coming back in yet. There were people waiting to buy down here, but since we've run back up, you can see the ticks are just not moving off that fast. Here we go. We got some buying coming in now. Still not really big buying, but there's some consistent buying coming in. And I just basically am making that statement based off how fast these ticks are moving off, the size of them. So you had some big moves there. You know, we sold a couple hundred ticks ticked off right there in just a blink. So that was some pretty good buying coming in. And you saw we moved up a tick there. I don't want this video to get extremely long, which sometimes it does when you get in these kind of trades. All the good movement seems to be in the mornings lately, and that's been while we're waiting on something to happen. I wanted to talk about a trade that's over here a little bit. Somebody posted, a trader posted some questions about going short. I think this is where they went short right here. They just made a comment about something about finding the swing low off a couple of swings and then moving it up. And I can't really figure out what they were seeing. Evidently they were seeing it totally different than me, because I see a trading range here. This was the first little trend I saw, a break, attempt for a retest that just got rejected instantly. Then we come up here and we reach the overnight highs and we get rejected off there pretty quickly. Then we come down here and we get that little failed break lower. It gets rejected instantly. That's the first break of this little channel though. And notice the break right here, and then the move to a new high, and then we get a break here, a move for a retest, but it finds support right there in that same place again. Look at that rejection bar. Nice long. This was the first trade I saw. There was a short right here, and I went back and forth whether to make it green, but there's plenty of room to get out there at that point, so I kind of like, and this is a new low, first entry, pullback, second entry. You might have used the limit order right here, and you would have got filled on it had you have done it, and then it runs to a new low. But you get a second entry off the high right here, but look where you're going short, right into that triple bottom. There's a double bottom already with a failed break lower. You've got a break of this trend channel, so all you got to do, you only needed maybe another tick or two, but it's just really dangerous, and that's why I don't have that second entry marked there, because you just can't go short right there. It's too risky. And then, of course, you get the bounce, the move back up. You get the break of that little channel right there, a new high, then a retest of it, a double top. That's a second entry short. And then you get a failed second entry long right there that traps people, moves on down, and what does it do? It bounces right off that other side. I drew this one in green because there's really no break of this little channel yet. And but most of your traders recognize now, you got a double bottom, a broader double bottom with a trap. We bounced there again, and here we are, we're bouncing there again, and you can see it took off really fast. They tried to make a little retest, but it didn't hold very much. This one was the first entry, so I drew it in green. There was no break of that channel yet. This one was such a big bar without a real good setup. Let's get back to our trade here. We just can't get up there quite. Here we go. There's some buying coming in there. Come on, buyers. Just need 2 more ticks here. There we go. We're bouncing off our order now. 1 more tick. Come on. Still see a lot of buying coming in there. All that. There we go. We got filled. I'm still looking for this target to get filled up here. And I'm guessing that's going to happen. We'll watch this for a few more minutes, see what happens. Oops, stop didn't cancel for whatever reason. Let's cancel that. So that was 6 contracts at 4 ticks. That's 24 ticks. So we basically made 6 points there, and that's $300. So, but anyway, let's go back to the trades. There was a second entry long here. Again, it's a big bar. It's real aggressive. But we're probably headed back to here. So most of your smarter traders are going to take that long. And it looked like we were going to set up for another perfect short. But look, it never triggers, and it turns up. And that's good enough. That's a new high. It pulls. That's a breakout pullback long. But at that point, I thought this was the highs right across here. So I felt like, it turns out that's probably just a median line running across there, about like so. But you don't know that at that point. So I thought we would broken out and we'd probably turn down. It's a first entry, so you may not have taken it anyway. But it never triggered, so it doesn't matter whether you were, and it goes higher. Then you get a failed second entry short here. Notice the new low, first entry, pull back second entry. I went back and forth whether or not to make this one green, but it is a trap. This is a strong move. There was some news that came out at 9 that was bullish, I guess, and maybe that's what. But really, I think the whole idea is we're just taking back the big sell-off from the FOMC news yesterday. The market almost always takes that back, and generally it takes it back in the same day, but it didn't do that. It waited till today to take it all back. And you see we're still going higher over here. This trend line's still holding. We hadn't had a close. They just trapped people there. That was a nice setup. Even if you'd have gone long above this bar right here, 64.50, you probably got to get to 64.70 or 65.75. I'm guessing we're going to see that regardless. I'm guessing we're going to reach this target here where I've got the line drawn. Showed you how I got that. So then you get a two-legged pull back to the EMA, the trend line. This is a strong setup. The only reason I drew this one in green was because we didn't have a break of this little channel. And you can see this little channel right here. And there hadn't been a break yet, and so I was leery about it. There's not a whole lot of room to the high there. Okay, I'm sorry. My throat's, I had a little itch in my throat there. Yeah, if you took that entry, it worked. I think it was a little risky. It is a second entry long, but notice it's not a very good signal bar. It is bouncing right off the EMA, right off the trend line. There's not a lot of room to get out here. I don't think there is 4 ticks there. 58.50. Yeah, there's just enough. And you see we got that, then it pulls back, then it makes another run up. You definitely don't want to go long right there. It's too close to that high. The fact that this didn't keep going has got to be a concern. And this was this is 2 up down bars, 2 dojis kind of overlapping. It's really 3 bars, so that makes that even more risky. Wait for a little better setup. You get a second entry long here, but again, there's all this congestion. You hadn't had a break of this channel yet. You get it right here on this move, and then you get 2 legs down, and then it reverses. And notice this little trap right here. This is a failed second entry short. Breakout pullback, this is your breakout pullback short, and then you really get a second entry on it right there, and it fails, reverses. Aggressive trader's going to go long right there. Then you get a second entry right here, easy scalp, pull back, and then you get a little failed second entry short. So I like that one. This one's more questionable. I really went back and forth whether to make it green, but notice you got your 2 swings there, and then just retested it and turns right up. So when it broke higher here, that's like a little second entry long. You got a new high here, pullback, first entry pullback. So it's a breakout pullback long, a second entry long. A lot of reasons to take that trade. And then we just get another, you got another little double top, another little breakout pullback long right off the trend line. You might have waited on this bar and tried to use a limit order, but if you didn't even use a stop there, you got left behind. But they trapped everybody then because all these people are loading up trying to pick the top. And there's no trend down here really. And then it comes higher. And I drew this one in green because it's a failed second entry short. It's a breakout pullback long, but there's just a lot of overlap. It's not a very good setup. I just think it's too risky. It's not back to the median line. It's not back to the trend line. It would have worked, but then you get a better setup here, in my opinion, that I liked. And you saw we've already scalped out of that one. And we may get a second entry long here now. And maybe move. Notice how nothing's closed. Even though we've got some stems down there, nothing yet has been able to close below that bar. That trend line, that's showing you, I mean, that's just testing that trend line. You know, there's not a lot of new buyers willing to come in here, but now maybe on this break lower and a little trap there again. And what you got is you got all these counter trend traders of the weekends that come in here trying to pick these tops. And the smart traders are just waiting on them to get trapped, and then they enter. And you can see it looks like we're going to go higher here. I'm guessing we'll make this target. I really expect that we probably will. We'll just have to see. I may pause it here and just wait around a minute and see if there's anything else to comment on about it. But that's pretty much all the trades. I hope this made sense to the trader down here as to why you wouldn't go short right there. Simply because notice how prices are on both sides of the EMA. This is what a strong trend looks like. Prices are all above the EMA, and then you break below it, but notice how they're all back again, and right here you really couldn't get below. That's what a trend looks like. This is just a trading range, and it was pretty obvious by the time we bounced here this time for sure. But if you're drawing these little short-term trends, you know it helps a lot to keep you on the right side. You see we're still trying to go higher. I may pause this just a minute and see if we'll break on higher here without just kind of sitting around and waiting on it. So I think I'll do that and come back and wrap this up in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to restart this thing. You can see nothing much has happened still. It's trying to trigger this second entry and head on higher. Most likely there's just not a lot of traders willing to enter long here without a decent setup, and we just really haven't gotten one yet. Even though a second entry is going to trigger here, it's not a very good signal bar, which this is going to be your signal bar at this point if it triggers higher here. And I'm still holding to the fact that I think we're headed to here at a minimum. And again, the way I got that was measuring. I don't quite have that on the high, so maybe let's redo that. Okay, and so my target is 1868 actually. For some reason I was off a tick or two there before. So that's my target. And again, I got that by measuring this first leg. And then this is just a two-legged correction, and generally you'll find that in the middle of two legs. So we've already got two legs. The question is can we get a measured leg here? And I see no reason. There's no reason to go short here yet. No reason whatsoever. This thing could turn and fall, and the bottom fall out of it, but there's no way. You can't go short right here following our rules. And that's what happens a lot of times is that people, they just see a setup and they're reading it maybe wrong, or they're reading it one way or another, and it looks like a great setup, but then they forget about a rule about making sure you got room to scalp out, like right here. And you just got to be real. You don't want to go long right into this resistance that hasn't been broken yet, not without a good setup or a good trap or a really strong trend. And this trend is strong, but it's not strong right now. So I'm based on everything I see, I'm still holding to my guns that we're going to here. but it could change. You know, we could break up here, go a few ticks and turn down and have a bearish bar that's 100 miles long or whatever, and I might change my mind. But for now, everything, all the clues that I see here say we're going to right here at a minimum. And we could go higher from there because we have no break of this trend line here if I'm reading this right. And the fact that this is still holding prices here leads me to believe that I'm reading it right. But what is happening is you're getting a lot of selling up here because you got all these people that are trying to pick tops, trying to, you know, it looks kind of like a double top right now. And the people that bet on that right there are probably shaking in their boots or probably already exited. All right, there's the second entry that triggered. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to let this video go much longer. But I'm interested to see what happens and kind of follow this up, and we'll see if we can't start moving higher again, because what will happen is they finally get everybody trapped like they did here, and then suddenly, you know, they all realize that, hey, I'm wrong finally, and they start throwing in, and this thing takes off like a rocket. And so all these people that got short in here are probably realizing now, hey, I was wrong, and if we keep going higher in a minute, we'll start hitting all their stops, and they'll all get run out. Now we could make a double top here, and we maybe just hung in a trading range. I don't know, but there's no reason to go short. I can tell you that much. And you can see you don't want to go long into that stuff. You had to get long down in here before you get to these previous highs, and that's why I wanted to get in a little bit lower here to make sure I had room. So I hope that was a good example of how to do this and why you don't want to be going short yet. There's no reason to go short here still, even now. And even on this move down here, there was no real reason to get short other than maybe this trap, but then you're going short right into strong support here. The only thing that you might have been considering here is that we never retested this breakout right here. Look at that. We did, I think, come back and retest this little high right now. See, we didn't even get back to it. The market was just too strong. But that's what this correction was an attempt to come back, and notice how there's no retest of this breakout area across here. And the market generally will come back and retest it. And that's what this was an attempt at. And that might have helped you to get short in here. But when this one didn't go a little further and this one didn't go any further and reversed instantly, most of your smarter traders are going long right there. You see we're still trying. This wasn't a very good setup bar, so a lot of people are going to try to get a little better entry here. I just don't think as many traders are going to enter here. It's just going to take the sellers giving up for it to probably break on higher until we hit some stops. And then, unless, of course, the market movers come in and say, okay, it's time to start buying again, and it takes off. So that's a possibility. Let's back out and look across here. You can see there's strong resistance across here. That's where we were fighting yesterday, and we've been close to that. So if we get up here, we got to break above that to get up here. So we're going to probably fight all the way past all that. And it's 1:30 now, so it's getting late in the day. So we'll see what happens. But that's what I saw for today, and I think I'm going to wrap this video up. We're about 23 minutes. It's 1:30. I'd like to get out of here, but at least we did get into example trade of catching that break lower here, that little trap. We got just got to get out of it. Got exactly 5 ticks from our entry point, and that's all we needed. And that was prior to getting to this high here, so we actually had a tick or so to spare there. And we may get one more little trap take off. If the video wasn't so long, I'd say, hey, let's hang around here and watch it. But I want to wrap this up and get out of here for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up for today. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.